Hi, my name is Chris Gunn, and I'm the Communications Director for the American Small Business League. This is my colleague Kevin Barron. He is our Director of Government Affairs, and we're here with the American Small Business League's February 3rd update on some of the things that are actually going on within the small business community, things that might affect your business directly. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Kev with the first item of business for today.
So what we're looking at right now is that as we start this 112th Congress is starting to look at ways that they can trim budgets. And so that means that both the House and Senate small business committees have announced over the last week that they're going to be looking at ways to cut programs and funding at the Small Business Administration. So obviously this raises some very serious concerns for us, considering that under the Bush administration, the budget of the SBA was cut by more than half, their staffing reduced by a third, and now as things were starting to slightly improve for them as far as budgets go, we're now looking again at ways that those budgets can be slashed. This raises concerns in a number of areas, especially considering the fact that the SBA still has not been brought back up to full staffing after the cuts made within the Bush administration, as well as the fact that the SBA's budget should be at least 4 times as high as it currently is. The SBA's budget back under Ronald Reagan was over $1 billion a year. In the current fiscal year that we're operating on, the SBA's budget is just under $1 billion. So over the course of 30 years, their budget has essentially not grown at all. At a time when our economy is hurting, when small businesses are the only vibrant part of our economy, small businesses create over 90% of all net new jobs, we should be looking at ways to bolster the Small Business Administration, increase their budget, increase their staffing, as opposed to cutting it. So as we head into the next week or two, I believe that both the House and Senate Small Business Committees are talking about holding hearings on this, as well as reaching out to the SBA to see exactly what areas they want to cut. We have a very serious concern that proposal will be put forward to essentially shut down the SBA and merge it into the Commerce Department. As we know, historically speaking, that is a great way to essentially get rid of an agency altogether, is merge it into a larger one. It would be devastating for the small business community for that to happen. This move is one we've been predicting will happen for a number of years now, and it looks like it could be a very viable suggestion. So at this point, anybody that's watching this, we're asking you to reach out to your representatives, tell them that they should be bolstering the Small Business Administration, not looking at ways to cut it. You want to cut something, start with DOD. They make up 3/4 of our government's budget anyway. And on that note, I will turn things over to Mr. Gunn, who has some more information for you.
Thank you, Mr. Barron. I appreciate it. And just to supplement something that Kevin said there, when he was talking about the SBA's budget and staffing, during the Reagan administration, the SBA's budget was about $1 billion. When you're actually adjusting for inflation, we've actually estimated that the SBA's budget is about 1/3 of what it should be. If it were just even on a same footing as it was during the Reagan administration, we'd be looking at something north of $3.5 billion. And we're looking at something south of $1 billion for the year. For an agency that's supporting America's 27 million small businesses, the backbone of our nation's economy, our chief job creators, I think that it's much more important that we support small businesses, support that engine, allow them to thrive and grow, and be that foundation for job creation and economic stimulus that they have been in past years, and that we hope that they will be in future years. And then segueing from that, kind of hitting on the idea of actually cutting away from Department of Defense spending and Department of Defense incredibly bloated budget. We had a report come out this week. It was a report that was sanctioned by Bernie Sanders as a part of the FY 2009 Defense Authorization Act. And essentially they came out and they found that DoD paid $285 billion over a 3-year period to contractors, more than 100 military contractors actually, who had defrauded the Pentagon and/or were currently in the process of litigating because they had been directly associated with fraudulent business practices. And I think this is a perfect example of exactly what the American Small Business League has been working on, in that we see a tremendous volume of large businesses who are actively participating in fraudulent schemes, or who frankly are abusing small business contracting programs and continually being allowed to get away with it, while they of course receive hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars in small business contracts year after year. This is a perfect example of why we need to continue our fight, why we need to continue our push towards stopping the diversion of federal small business contracts to large corporations. And it's actually a perfect example of something that we could address today. And as Congressman Sanders put it this week, you can't reduce the deficit. You can't clean the government's fiscal house, if you will, without addressing fraud, waste, and abuse, starting with the Department of Defense. And I think that's a great place to start. So once again, my name is Chris Gunn. I'm our communications director. This is Kevin Barron. He's our director of government affairs. We're going to be doing these update videos on a weekly basis, letting the small business community know exactly what's going on within small business contracting programs. If you have any questions or anything that we said during this video that you'd like to bring to our attention, please do. You can reach us at info@asbl.com. Or you can visit our website at www.asbl.com. Mr. Barron, do you have anything to add?
No, but have a wonderful day, night, morning, whatever time of day it is.
Thank you so much.